Hello and welcome back to 100 Days of Magic. We are here in day 18 to talk about intentions, more specifically, what keeps your intentions from manifesting in our 3D physical world. So, in case you haven't met me before, I'm Donna Woodwell. I am the proprietress of this space called the Crossroads of Magic and Mastery, where we are all coming together to talk about our fascination with all things magical, whether they be astrology or tarot or spell casting or shamanism, or fill in the blanks with whatever word you'd like to describe that sense of connection with something larger than yourself, some divine spark within you, or just the sense of numinous presence with which we all move through the world. Hello, Boris. Hello, Claudia. I'm glad you are here today as we continue our journey. One second. The amazing thing about our ability to meet every single day is a side benefit that we can all use this point of connection as a tool for building our other habits. Like, let's say you want to journal and start a journaling practice every day. Why not try tuning in and watching this live and then immediately writing in your journal? 2 habits for the price of 1, because they're all connected together. That's why we are spending this time together, to give you enough time to build a magical habit and any other habits you want to bolt on to that magical practice. Because the thing about creating the life that we want, as we all know, lots of things get in the way. I call that the dreaded yes but, which other people have used before, but I think it's incredibly appropriate that on one side of us we can say, yes, I want that. I want a more spiritual life, but, and here come the excuses. That's the thing about our ego selves. They're really good at coming up with excuses for not doing the thing that we say we want to do. Excuses can be practical in the sense that, life happens. We aren't in control of everything. If we say we want to start our, pick something, our swimming practice, I'm going to go swimming every day, but it turns out the pool we were going to go swim in is now green because the apartment complex forgot to put the chlorine in it. Well, that sounds like actually something that happened to me. But you know what I mean? That stuff in the world happens that prevents us from taking the steps that we want to take. Or something internal to ourselves. I want to read more, watch TV less. And yet we find ourselves on the couch anyway. How do we learn how to work through these yes, but situations? Well, the first thing you need to understand is that the yes is kind of synonymous with the process of manifestation itself. Everything that comes into manifestation is tapping into a yes, I want to move through the gates. I want to create something. And we all hold that yes feeling inside of us somewhere. And tapping into that feeling of yes, that's what I want, is part of learning magic. Because ultimately, when we're doing our spells, when we are doing our rituals, we're trying to call something into being, we want all of us to resonate with that great big yes. Because that's what carries the magic through, down into manifestation. And I know you all know what that feels like. It's not something that you can describe any more than you can describe exactly what an orgasm feels like to you. It's just there aren't enough words. But you do have experience in your lives when you felt that moment where you have resonated with that feeling of yesness. And that's what we're looking for to create in our experience of wanting to bring our intentions into fruition. All right, so yes, but. You can even hear the energy shift with that but. It's like, I'm going to open the gate, but no, I'm not. And it's that but energy that limits our ability to manifest creatively in the world. And so we have to begin to understand what motivates all of those hesitations, all of those insecurities, all of those emotional responses, because those are the things that we have to learn how to recover and to re-knit into ourselves so that all we do feel is that yes. So I wasn't joking about the journaling before. Journaling is an essential part of doing magic. And especially in the modern Western worlds, we are so wordy. We throw up words for everything. And journaling gives us a chance to slow it down and look at it with a little bit of distance. When we are planning to do spells or rituals, and you're coming up with your intention, the next step is going to be identifying where the points of resistance to that intention are going to come from so that you can begin to release them, refute them, or come up with a different way of thinking about the situation. So the possibilities for the buts of the world are so infinite, I can't talk about them all. It would take days and days to get to all the excuses that we make for ourselves. Let's say our intention is, I want to exercise more, and I make it more specific. It says, I'm going to go for a 15-minute walk every day at 7 o'clock at night. You have to consider what the buts are going to be before you go ahead and try to cast a spell on yourself to do this. Because if it's a really clear yes, you don't need to go through the whole rigmarole to pull out your magical ingredients and do spells in order to make this happen, because if your intention is really clear, it's going to happen anyway. So coming up with your intention, the next thing is, what would prevent me from doing this, going for a walk at 7 o'clock for 15 minutes every night? Well, it could be it interferes with other people's schedules in your lives. It interferes with making dinner. These are practical things, and you have to consider maybe adjusting what you're trying to intend about, that it fits the local circumstances a little. Maybe it needs to be moved to 7:30 to make more time for those things. Maybe your favorite television show is on then and you haven't learned how to, do streaming or TiVo or whatever. You might have to make adjustments for that. But if it's something deeper than that, oh, I'm tired, I don't have the energy for this, and you have to do something a little more, okay, you say you want to walk, and now you're saying you're tired. How can I work with that? Do you need more vitamins? Do you need more water? And maybe we should only start with, instead of saying 15 minutes, I'm going to intend to walk 1 minute. I'm just going to get up and I'm going to walk down to the end of the building and I'm going to walk back and I'm good. So sometimes it might mean taking our intentions to something that is more, as we talked about yesterday, they have to be simple, what's necessary, actionable or achievable, and whatever the last P was. Now I can't remember what the P was. It's been a long week. Okay, so our snap, we want it to be, in this case, something that we can actually do. Oh, there you go. Claudia says positive. She's been taking quotes. She's been taking notes. Thank you, Claudia. So when we can begin to use that snap principle, sometimes it can help us confront some of the buts that we throw up in our way. Sometimes they're even deeper than that. Sometimes the buts are like, I'm a terrible person. I'm just plain lazy. Doesn't matter if I go for a walk every day. It's not going to make my life any better. It's too hard. Um, all of the stuff that we program with ourselves with over and over again, our fear of failure, our fear of success, all of that's real in the sense it prevents us from doing what we say we want to do, but it's also completely fake because it's a made up construct that's not true and has been installed in our brains at some point in time along the way. So sometimes I think one of the purposes of magic is to give us a fun, creative framework to be able to identify those core seed beliefs that throw up butts all over the place in our lives because they are shaping our experience in ways far larger than the particular circumstance in which they're coming up. To say I'm a terrible person, I'm going to be, I'm going to be overweight and ugly no matter what I do, so I might as well not do it at all. So I'm just going to sit here on the couch. That's a pretty big but. It's also not true because all of those pejorative statements have nothing to do with your ability to get up and walk down the hallway to the end of the balcony and walk back. One little tiny sliver. Sometimes this process begins to ignite a heat inside of us. Once we start one little tiny step, confronting that butt heats us up inside. It's often called the divine flame or the secret flame in alchemical texts. When it begins to heat us up, it makes us more willing, it gives us more energy to take the next step, but it also makes us more willing to confront that blockage, the butts of our lives, enough oomph to get over them. And it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy in the other direction that we can then use to continue to move through whatever we're moving through. Okay? So sometimes the butts can be extreme emotional reactions. Our grudges against the people in our lives that we haven't forgiven, hearing their negative tapes playing over and over again. We start to do this kind of work, we realize that there really is a choice going on. Do you want to respond to those negative tapes, or do you want to create your own and a contrary messaging that actually fits into who and what you feel called to be? And yes, it's hard. Sometimes these things take days and weeks and months to work through. But that doesn't mean it's not possible to begin to move little steps going forward. And sometimes those little steps can involve us creating a little bit of magic to make it more fun and to recognize that we have some creative agency in all the things that go on in our life. We can't change everything, but we can change some things. And one thing we have a lot of control over that we neglect to use is our own reaction to what is happening to us. That stuff that's going on in our head, that's what we have some space, some agency to work with. And so we get creative. You want to go for a walk every day at 7 o'clock. Let's just pick that because we've gotten rid of the other stuff. Why not create a little station on the way outside the door where you light a candle every time you go, asking for energy to go on your walk? Why not? Fire is energy. The energy is inside of you. It's a great symbol for your subconscious mind that what you are doing is recognizing that your body is a temple. You are wanting to interact with spirit, and you're willing to go for a walk, not very far, just a little bit, to start this process of getting yourself into a healthier state where you can experience more light. And so the candle that you are lighting is a spell in the sense that it is pulling in your intention and anchoring it a little more firmly here in 3 dimensions than if you didn't do it at all. That's magic. I know when I explain it that way, it doesn't sound so damn scary to begin with, but that's magic. Magic is not about breaking the laws of physics. Magic is not about making things that are impossible happen. Magic is about aligning yourself with your spiritual purpose and actually acting on those impulses, large and small, here in our 3-dimensional world. Okay? And I know one of the yes buts are going to be saying, well, but what if what I want to manifest is conflicting with what someone else wants to manifest? Good question. We're going to talk about that tomorrow when we talk about the ethics of magic. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I will try to get back to them later, or you can ask them now. While I remind you that the Crossroads of Magic and Mastery is a space for everyone. It is a public group. Anything that you share here can be shared with lots of other people. So if you are writing blog posts, if you have books, if you have classes and courses or things that you want to sell, feel free to put them up here. This is not like other groups where the monitors are going to take them out as self-promotion. Your self-promotion is just fine. It helps everybody think about what is possible, especially if they're tools to help them express themselves more fully in the world. The only thing you're not allowed to do is put up advertisements for personal reading and coaching, because a high proportion of the people here do that, and it would be chaos. And 2, we don't have any way to monitor what kind of experience people would have in those situations. It's a lot safer for you to advertise your books than it is for you to advertise, please come over to my house and I will do a reading for you. You know what I mean? Anybody who's done this kind of work knows what I mean. Okay? No questions today? That's okay. I hope I've given you something to think about. And as homework for today, consider all of the yes buts that you have in your life. And whether those buts are real or are something that you're putting up in your head is an excuse to keep you doing what you're already doing, to preventing you from testing the boundaries, to make you feel safe, but in feeling safe, giving up your agency, your ability to create the world that you want to create. These things aren't easy, they're complex. If there were easy answers, we would all be enlightened by now. But you can make baby steps every day, every moment, 24/7, to be a little more awake and alive as you are walking through your days. Okay? All right. I hope this all makes sense. I will see you tomorrow as we talk about the ethics of magic. Until then, I all hope your days are filled with magic.